So you know how the number 28 is significant in the Larry Stylinson fandom because that was Louis' soccer jersey number, and he wears it when he has played Soccer Aid, and it's also the name of his clothing line. So the number 28's been a frequent flyer in the Larry Stylinson fandom, but there's another number that I've been seeing pop up, and I'm a newer Larry, and the veteran Larrys are probably much more versed in this. So I was wondering because I keep seeing the number 25, and it's not technically new, but I think it's like it's had some traction, then it hasn't had traction, but it seems to be having traction again because I'm seeing it, and but it is apparently one of the most iconic and lasting kind of theory storylines in the Larry Stylinson fandom arc, and it's the 25 and it's all planned theory. So this phrase, which apparently, so if any of this is wrong, let me know because I've been so busy today. I've had a long day. So I have, again, I feel bad, but I haven't had as much time to kind of double check data points. So apparently the phrase is pulled from Louis Tomlinson's song Just Like You and has been interpreted by fans for years as more than just a lyric. Because, I mean, lyrics are never just lyrics, right? Like, the, I'm convinced it's all code. All right, so to many Larrys, it became a kind of a prophecy, a roadmap, and even a countdown to 2025. And so now that we're here in 2025, I mean, September, we only have a few more months left, fans are kind of buzzing again. And there's sort of the question in the fandom chatter of, was this line a coincidence? Was it foreshadowing? Or is it something that's bigger unfolding this year that ties back to that lyric? So let's see what is there. Okay, so the origin of the theory. So the lyric appears in Louis' 2017 release, Just Like You. And at one point he sings 25 and it's all planned, night out, and I'm feeling down. So sometimes I really look at the lyrics printed out, other times I don't. So if I'm wrong, comment. All right, so on the surface, the line fits the theme of the song. It's a reflection on fame, adulthood, and disillusionment. So Louis was 25 at the time that this song was written. So naturally, it made sense. But fans seize on the phrase, and it's all planned. So what exactly was planned? And, why would Louis spotlight that particular number, like 25, in such a loaded way? So by 2017, the Larry fandom was already primed to see double meaning in every lyric. I don't know if they were primed. I think they were on a roll. It's how Larry evolved because Harry and Louis were known for changing lyrics on stage impromptu. That you change one word, it could change the entire meaning, right? Like it's like Harry singing at Harry Ween, hopelessly devoted to you versus hopelessly devoted to Lou, and it's like, okay. So because by 2017 the fandom started thinking maybe this just wasn't about Louis, being 25 years old at the time. Maybe it was about a hidden timeline, a suggestion that by the time the boys hit 25 or by the year 2025, the plan would finally unfold. Okay, so then how did this theory take route? Again, if I'm wrong, comment below. Okay, so from Tumblr blogs to Reddit threads, the 25 plan became a kind of a cornerstone of Larry's speculation. And it encompassed a couple things. So contract theories, fans tie the lyric to speculation about restrictive contracts ending around 2025. Whether these contracts ever existed is debated, but the fandom's belief gave the lyric lasting symbolic power. Numerology. So numerology and symbols. So Larry fans, they notice the numbers, and numbers have symbolic meaning, like 28, 17, 7, and then now 25. Can someone explain the 17 and 7? Because I only think of 28. So Louis choosing 25 was considered not random. It was deliberate. Louis plays a long game. He thinks things through. The voice calculated, right? So it makes sense that people would start to think this. All right. And then the storytelling potential of the arc that 25 took on. So the fandom saw this as an alternative narrative foreshadowing, kind of like a breadcrumb. a trail left in plain sight. So it wasn't just about Louis's age. It was about destiny. All right. So then, how did the 25 and it's all planned? That phrase. How did that carry the torch through the years? Okay. So as the years rolled on, the lyric remained alive in fandom memory and in chatting spaces. Right. 2019, that's when Harry released Fine Line, and then some fans connected the themes of secrecy and longing and duality to the 25 plan. In 2020 and 2021, as both artists gained more independence from the One Direction legacy, fans whispered they were getting closer to the year of revelation. By 2022 to 2023, TikTok edits resurrected the lyric, framing it as a countdown clock. Just wait for 2025, fans would comment. And now we're in 2025, we're entering into the last quarter of the year. The lyric kind of is seeing this revival across Reddit, Twitter, and Discord, kind of as if it were a prophecy finally coming to maturity. All right, so now that 2025 has arrived, what is happening now? So here we are. What's fueling the resurgence of this theory today? Why are we seeing the phrase in fandom spaces, different social media? So, well, Louis liked Larry content. So earlier this year, Louis liked a Larry reel on Instagram. Around the time of Glastonbury, where both Harry and Louis attended, but nobody got a selfie of them together. So, maybe it was an accidental like, maybe not. But in 2025, fans see it as intentional, a nod that the plan is still in play. I mean, well, Louis is very detail oriented and calculated. I have a harder time thinking that was an accident. Harry's silent. So Harry has had a noticeably low-profile year. There's been no high-visibility romances until Zoe Kravitz in September, shortly after Labor Day. There's been fewer public statements, and some fans are interpreting this as a preparation, kind of like the quiet before the storm. Louis and Zayn had a reunion in New York. The sight of Louis and Zayn reconnecting shocked the fandom. If one broken bond can mend in 2025, could Harry and Louis' public distance also shift? Because Louis and Zayn reconnected late last year in LA when Zayn had a show, and now they're reconnecting in New York. Yay! Fandom energy. So hashtags like Larry 2025 and 25 and it's all planned are circulating again, with edits reframing the lyrics as prophecy finally coming true. All right, so what are some possible interpretations? So what did 25 and it's all planned mean in practice? Well, fans have a couple ideas percolating. One is the contract expiry theory. So the idea that industry contracts that silenced Harry and Louis, by 2025, these obligations have ended. The symbolic milestone theory. So 25 wasn't literal, but symbolic. It's a number signaling transformation, adulthood, and freedom, which I can kind of see that because in the United States, I don't know what it's like in the UK. If any European fans are listening, is it so? Maybe they've changed, but I have not rented a car in a long time. But if at least a good 5-10 years ago, I remember being told you cannot rent like a Hertz car unless you're like at least 25. So I can see 25 is also the age where they say that the prefrontal cortex that governs executive function matures, or at least that's the earliest age it would have matured. So then that lines up. But I'm curious if 25 has the same kind of gravitas in terms of car rental in Europe that it seems to have at least at one point in the US. Okay. So the narrative foreshadowing theory. Louis embedded a coded message for fans, reassuring them that by 2025, patience would be rewarded with clarity. So each interpretation carries weight, and each has been passionately debated online this year. And of course, well, why do we still believe? Because you must believe, right? The most important takeaway is this. Whether the lyric was intentional or not, fans have made it meaningful. Larry fandom thrives on resilience and hope because, hey, only for the brave. So the 25 and it's all planned theory or storyline arc has become a rallying cry, keeping faith alive through years of silence and no sight of Harry and Louis for over a decade. At least no sight of them together. So now with Louis's small online gestures, Harry's quietness, and symbolic reunions happening in 2025, believers feel validated. Even if nothing concrete happens, the fact that this year feels charged proves the theory's cultural impact. So, has 25 and it's all planned come true? Well, that depends on how you define planned. If it means Harry and Louis suddenly confirming everything, well, probably not. If it means 2025 is a year when the Larry fandom feels alive, validated, and full of signs, well, then yes, the plan is unfolding exactly as imagined. So at the end of the day, this lyric has transcended its original meaning. It's become a fandom prophecy, a rallying symbol, a reminder that sometimes the meaning we create together is more powerful than any single confirmation. What do you think? Is the 25 plan playing out right now? Or is it just another theme? Anyway, drop your thoughts. And I must say, it's only in the last week that I've really noticed this 25 and it's all planned. So I think there's probably even more to the story, but I'll let the veteran Larrys comment below. But I would love to see Harry, Louis, Zayn, and Niall just as a quartet just have lunch and their photos be taken. I think that would make a lot of us feel really, really happy.